the wealthier you are, Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, will get very little support. Wealthy will get very little, far less support. They'll pay far more of that premium. By doing this, we're empowering people to make choices with regard to their healthcare plan that works for them. And a market-based system will be in place, and the studies we've seen, it'll actually help reduce costs and contain costs. And this is the only plan that we have, is the only plan that saves and preserves the current Medicare system for our current seniors, but also protects it for this future generation. And so when you see the stuff of Paul Ryan dumping the lady off the cliff, there's only one person behind that wheelchair changing the system, and it's not Paul Ryan, it's President. So you're going to hear a lot about it, and you're going to hear a lot of scare tactics, but that's what's going on. Thank you for asking the question.
We've got time for one more question.
Sure. I got a little late, so we'll go a little over. Sorry.
James, was it Gord from Finance before?
Yes. It has to do basically with the same question this gentleman raised on tax loopholes. 2008, there was a hedge fund manager out on the East Coast named David Tepper. Apparently had a good year. He paid himself $2.3 billion for the year. He's not the top one. A man named Paulson paid himself $5 billion. These guys are now taxed under laws that I can only say came from Washington at 15%. First of all, every financial system has weaknesses which have to be continually corrected. It doesn't matter which form of government it is, communism, socialism, capitalism. They have to be changed, and you guys are really asleep out there because 15%, and nobody deserves $2.3 billion unless they can cure cancer. And this is going on, and they're creating financial products that nobody, including themselves, understands. And they're just taking billions out of the economy, a good share of which probably does go to the Cayman Islands. And Congress is asleep on these things. And I can't blame them entirely because not even the financial institutions understand all their derivatives and all these other instruments they're creating. It's a terrible situation. And you can call it class warfare or anything you want, but nonetheless, it's something that should be corrected. Nobody deserves that kind of money. And one last thing, Sharia law says interest is forbidden. And I just thought if this lady could tell me a couple banks where I can go in and get a no interest loan, I would head out right after this meeting.
Yes, we're all waiting.
So you're talking about the different tax rates that we have. One for your salaried income, and one for your investment income, right? And so traditionally, in America, but virtually every other country, your salaried income is taxed at a higher rate than your investment income. And you might say, well, why is that? Well, your salaried income is basically guaranteed, right? You're working, you're guaranteed to get a paycheck. There's no risk of losing that 40 hours of work. You're going to get paid for it. The investment income, on the other hand, you might make a profit off that investment, or you might lose your whole investment. You're not guaranteed anything on the investment income. And so if you look at what happens in America and other countries, you usually have a lower rate on money that you make off the investment. And I find it interesting that some would make this argument because the saying is, I want to increase taxes on investment profit. Now, if you're looking at having jobs created in your community, oftentimes you'd say, I want someone to maybe build a manufacturing facility in my community. If we're going to build a manufacturing facility, that takes an investment. If you want to encourage investment, which is the direct correlation to job growth, why would you tax that more? You should want to encourage more investment in your country because more investment means more jobs and more job growth.
We're talking about artificial financial instruments, not about investing in a new factory.
So what we're talking about is a proposal by the president to increase taxes on investment income. And so you could also say, Well, I'm talking about Mr. Buffett and billions of dollars. Make no mistake, he's not talking about just Mr. Buffett. He's talking about many of the business owners in this district who own the manufacturing facility or own the small business, the ones that are the job creators of our community. And I say, why would I want to tax those job creators more on their investment? I want to encourage them to invest more. I want to incentivize them to invest more. And if you look at what's happened, actually, if you want to maybe make a correlation in between saying, well, Ms. Shawn, you talk about the debt, right? And you're concerned about a $15.6 trillion debt. Why don't you raise taxes to pay it off? Might be your next point. Well, if you look at since Reagan, and even since Bush, when you've actually taken those investment income tax brackets and you've reduced them from 28 to 20 to 15%, when you've done that, you don't see less revenue come into the federal coffers. There's a correlation, you actually see more revenue. And when you see that income come in, it's because more people are willing to invest. More people invest, we see more jobs. The correlation of revenue to the federal coffers isn't by raising taxes, it's by economic growth. You see a correlation with revenue coming in, more people go back to work. Let's have more people go to work. Taxing that investment more isn't going to put more people back to work. I'll have one more question and I'll wrap it up.
Most of these have been talked about before, as far as healthcare and stuff like this.
You can do one question and I'll get wrapped up.
Well, mine is about, I know we have lots of other things on your plate, but I just received a letter from, it's about Right to Life, and that, they said it's a, one that I support, and they said that you had, this is what you're running things, that you hadn't signed the bill, protecting Right to Life. And I don't always believe everything, so I just thought, if we had time, I'd just ask you if you had supported that in your terms.
Yeah, I have. So,
Okay.
I'll talk to you after. Yeah, I've supported that.
Okay.
Do you want to check in with any organization what my reference is?
Okay, because, like I say, I don't believe everything you can get.
Let's talk after that. I'm on it. I'm trying to worry about that.
Okay.
Listen, I appreciate you guys all coming in and engaging in a conversation. I think it's important that we have these conversations. I come from a big family, everyone doesn't get along, but if you don't talk to people and you don't have a conversation and let people tell you what their concerns are, give you a different point of view, I don't think I can be an effective representative. So I know some of you don't agree with me, some of you do, but I walk away with a little different perspective when I'm listening to what you guys have to say. And no matter how many cameras I get in a room, no matter how many organizations that come in from outside the state and try to film me and misrepresent what I say, I'm going to promise you this. No one is going to stop me from doing town halls like this, hearing what you have to say to me, and I'm going to give you my answers and my ideas of what I think is appropriate, but I'll always listen, no matter who comes into this room and tries to film and shut me down. So with that, thank you guys for coming. Look forward to working for you.